For the 500 Czech Grand Prix, this is part 2. We have 22 laps and the full race distance on this restart after Jamie Whittam's bonfire at turn 7/8. And after major consultation with the organisers, with the safety officials, with the riders, it would seem that they will be doing not just 22 laps, but there will be a yellow flag out on the offending corners, or the approach to it. So therefore, no passing on the corner that the foam and burn-up actually ensued. In other words, they've neutralised the corner and taken it out of the racing equation. That decision was made because the surface is unknown. None of these riders can be sure about how slippery that corner may well be. And for most mere mortals that have never ridden 200 horsepower motorcycles with a very small contact patch of rubber, it's enough to control these things when you've got full grip underway, let alone some unknown quantity chucked into the equation halfway through your race day. So, a decision has been made. I must say that former Grand Prix racer Randy Mamola, I must say, came up. There is the offending article. That is on turn 8, as it turns out. The flip-flop through there. They will be on full power trying to drive out there now. Anyone that's out on a wide line will get out on what is the cement dust that, because of the sticky tarmac, has combined itself with the track surface and has made it very, very slippery indeed, although most of the riders won't be on it. Unless, of course, they've run out a little wide. There it is, the oil flag and a yellow flag. Yellow flag will make sure that no one overtakes. If they do, then they'll end up with penalties and problems later on in the race. So no one will be able to pass on the approach to that turn. And it is a passing place. It's a place where many riders try and make a pass. So, as I was about to say, Randy Mamola had made a suggestion that perhaps they should have 3 laps as a mini practice session to get used to it. Stop, consider the situation, take a check on the track and make sure it's okay, and then continue with those 3 laps taken away from the 22. I personally feel that that was a very good idea, but riders and officials have had their heads together for some time now. They've made a decision. It is going to be a 22-lap race starting in just a minute, as we look down on the track to see Jürgen van der Gorberg, who will take pole position. Alongside him is Alex Crivier. And then it's Max Biaggi, and then it's Tetsuya Harada on the V-twin Aprilia. That will be your front row. We're on board with Crivier right now, looking forward into turn 1. Second row, Kenny Roberts, Tadej Okada, Carlos Checa and Alex Barros. And it was, of course, Kenny Roberts who led this race. He made a great start from the second row of the grid, so a bit of a disaster for him. Jürgen van der Gorberg got a good start, but had slipped back through the pack. They come under starters' orders then for the second time today for the 500cc Czech Grand Prix. The red light's on. We wait for green. It's a flyer again. Look at that from Max Biaggi. Max Biaggi getting away brilliantly there. Where is Kenny Roberts? Can he make the start again this time round? But Max Biaggi is the man that leads into turn 1 from Crivier, from Norifumi Abe, that looks to me. There's Tadej Okada in there with, again, Kenny Roberts riding around the outside. So Kenny Roberts, not quite the start that he got in his original start, number 10 Roberts, but it is to Biaggi that leads yet again, as he did in race 1.
This is where Roberts made his move in the first start.
Up the inside. And does it again into third place. A superb manoeuvre there for Kenny Roberts then. Remember, he qualified 5th and back on the second row. So, second place for Roberts. Superb stuff. There's Jürgen van der Gorberg on the outside line at the moment, back in what? 6th place as they... Wow, watch out for Roberts in second place, but Crivier's looking to try and repay him that. No, not this time. Roberts then on the Suzuki, second place, but it's Max Biaggi on the Yamaha that leads at the moment from Alex Crivier back in 3rd. Norifumi Abe on bike 6 in 4th place. Then it looks like Tadej Okada.
And then it's Harada.
It is on the Tetsuya Harada on the V-twin Aprilia. There's the 2 Red Bull bikes, Regis Laconi and Gary McCoy. But now approaching the difficult area. These guys have got yellow flags out here. They're not allowed to pass. Max Biaggi goes in. Then it's Kenny Roberts. There is the offending area as they cross that. Let's take a look at it. Anybody sideways? Of course, it's all very well saying that they can't pass on the way in, but they're going to want to get on the gas as early as they can on the way out, so they've got the momentum down towards this corner.
Only Gary McCoy crossed the white dust with no ill effects.
Well, not going at that pace anyway. So, lap 1 of 22, remember, it's a full race restart. There is 31, that's Tetsuya Harada, the V-twin Aprilia.
Saw Carlos Checa on number 4 taking up a place. Beds behind him. He's battling with van der Gorberg now. Oh, Aoki and van der Gorberg side by side.
Number 9 Aoki, Nobuatsu Aoki, the 27-year-old Aoki brother is there. Biaggi, Roberts, Crivier, Abe, Okada, Harada, Barros in 7th place. Checa in 8th. That was as they crossed the line. He's made up places already. So, Max Biaggi under attack from the Suzuki of Kenny Roberts. Then it's Alex Crivier. Then it's Nobuatsu Aoki. Then it's Tadayuki Okada. Okada could come good as they come to the end of the lap. Over the line now. Watch for Roberts' Suzuki. He asked Suzuki to make a few improvements to his bike over the last 4 weeks. Have they done so? We're going to find out.
Let's see if he can attack on the left-hander in a couple of corners time as he did on the first lap, or twice on the first lap so far this meeting. But Max looking good. And let's face it, if it's a track on which Yamaha should start the winning average again, Keith, this is it.
Done enough testing here over the last week or three, that's for sure. Still it is. Biaggi from Roberts, from Alex, from Norifumi Abe. We're looking at him on the Louis Dantan Antenna 3 bike. Through goes Roberts, superbly done. Kenny Roberts, can he hold it now?
Yes.
Roberts powers the Suzuki up towards the next turn. Well, he hasn't, you know, I didn't think so, because Max Biaggi got back on the gas very, very early on. So Biaggi blasts that Yamaha back in front of the Suzuki, while Alex Crivier watching brief from him in third place.
Looking comfortable.
Abe riding good.
Abe always starts well. He's right up there with the good guys. He got a big fillip at the Saxon Rig last time out when he got a rostrum, of course, and Norifumi Abe looking good. Taddy Okada on his case.
Don't get out of second gear there, though, do you?
Very true.
Here's a bit different.
Very true.
Down towards that tricky little corner, we're going to look back from your race leader's bike. Where is that dodgy tarmac? There it is. They're not across it much. Looking back at Kenny Roberts from Max Biaggi, your race leader. Alex Crivier looking like he's lining himself up a bit with Roberts there. Then it's Abe still with Taddy Okada. The two Japanese locked together. Then
a gap to another Japanese, Tetsuya Harada, in front of Alex Barros.
Yeah, that Aprilia really has amazed me this year. I'm not going to argue with you at all what it's capable of doing, Julian, because I usually do and lose.
Yes. And,
number 5, Alex Barros, they're chucking it from side to side. Barros looking pretty good. Right up behind Tetsuya Harada, so watch out for Barros. He's in 7th place.
Still deeply unhappy about the Saxon Ring. He thinks Kenny Roberts did him wrong.
Well, I'm sure Kenny will lose sleep over that.
Yes, I'm sure. Most people think that Alex was the unlucky, you know, he was the victim of the blinded alley, if you like.
End of lap 2 then. There is Jürgen van den Gorber, the pole sitter that's gone back down into the jaws of number 15, Seti Gibernau, as you know. Alex, well, he's good on the brakes, Alex, but not good enough. Yeah, the class of V-twin, though, you've got to be really good on the brakes.
And Carlos Checa looking very threatening in 8th place now behind Alex Barros. Gary McCoy out-qualifying and out-racing his teammate Register Coney for the first time.
Not by much, though, by the look at that. Register Coney not having a particularly good day. Still Max Biaggi leading, though, from Kenny Roberts at the moment. Then it's Alex Crivier. Again, Crivier, well, he's got a 47-point lead in this championship. Kenny Roberts has got a 14-point lead over Taddy Okada in 3rd place.
Yeah, Max down in 9th place, only 71 points, 103 less than Alex Crivier. 203 we're up to, 202.3 is the lap record belonging to Alex Crivier from last year, so at least a second to get yet, Keith.
Well, if there's a fair part of the track taken out of the equation, you don't expect them to get too close to it. There's a quick time from Crivier last year. Still it is Biaggi, though, that leads at the moment. Looking for movers down on the pack.
Gary McCoy's your man.
Gary McCoy riding the Red Bull Yamaha perfectly well. They lose their sponsorship for that at the end of the year when the contract comes to an end. We are told reliably from trackside.
Well, the contract has run its natural 3 years, hasn't it? It's not a question of pulling out or anything. It's just saying, thanks, it was fun, we'll have to do something else now.
Yeah, Peter Clifford will be frantically looking for some more money there, isn't he always? Still it is. Max Biaggi leads from Kenny Roberts in 2nd place. We're on board with Alex Crivier in 3rd, looking at the rear end of Kenny Roberts.
Ken looking his normal, stylish, really controlled self.
He really has come good on the Suzuki. Mind you, he was going good on the Yamaha before he went off to ride for his dad's team for a while.
We keep forgetting that season, don't we? When
he rode very well on the V4 Yamaha.
By the end of the season, he really looked like the proper article of V4 pilot, didn't he?
Yeah, but his dad's team has honed his skill somewhat, and he got on the Suzuki this year, something a little bit more competitive than the Medinas. And just look at him now. There's Checa in front of number 9, Aoki now.
Yep.
So Checa making some progress. He made brilliant progress on the first lap and a half of the original start for this race.
He qualified 7th.
Where are you, Kenny? Right out there wide. Now, he's been wide on the entry to that corner.
And a twitch again.
Every lap, he's wide on the entry to that corner. He pulls it in tight. But it doesn't look like the fastest of lines, I must say. But maybe it suits that particular bike. Is that a new lap?
No, we're half a second off still, Keith.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, that's not bad considering.
Yeah, on the number of laps we've done. That's really showing that Max is forcing the pace. He's won here for the last 5 years. Last year on a 500, the previous 4 years on a 250. You could say that Biaggi likes this place. It could be built for him. It's his sort of track, isn't it?
It's his kind of style, isn't it, at the end of the day as well. So, 32 there, Tetsuya Harada hanging on in 5th place on the V-twin.
31.
31 is what I meant.
I think Gary McCoy is the man after that leading pack on number 24 Red Bull Yamaha. I am impressed, I really am. This is the place he broke his leg badly last year on the V-twin, the Shell Advance bike. And he's really looking at the genuine V4 pilot, as well as we check the leader.
You weren't going to say the real McCoy then, were you?
I nearly did, didn't I?
Jeff Crust in the middle of your picture there with Mike Sinclair to his left, our right, keeping a check on the monitors of Max Biaggi's machinery. So, Crusty used to work for Gary Taylor at Suzuki.
You've got to be called Crusty, haven't you?
Well, you've got to be called Crusty, yes, it's Mr. Crusty Hughes, Ewan.
Yes, indeed.
He tells me.
That politely.
Oh, Max is turning it in there. God, dear me, he made it shake its head as he chucked it from side to side. So
Harada's V-twin not losing any places. Barros is still behind Harada on the Aprilia V-twin.
Keep an eye on the Roman. Looking pretty good at the moment in front of Kenny Roberts, who's coming under some increasing pressure from Alex Crivier. I think Crivier would prefer to be in front of Roberts if he can, and in the slipstream of Max Biaggi.
Yamaha leads Suzuki, leads Honda.
Yeah, nice to see it. In fact, 5 bikes in qualifying. I think I said it earlier. Yep. 5 bikes in qualifying, all different manufacturers. That's not bad, is it?
The top five, yeah. And the MUZ as the top one, which... And is that Alex making his move?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, superbly done. I mean,
beautiful.
He did that so good, you hardly noticed it.
No, it was just ghosting round.
But watch for Roberts at the end of here. That's where he's good. Not good enough, though, when it comes to Crivier this time. Alex Crivier.
Yeah, he decided Max has had a big enough start. He's off and after him.
Well, I think that's the problem. I mean, if Max was easing his way away at the front there and Roberts wasn't tailing him. So at the end of the day, if I say that one more time, you can smack me. One more time, and that's it.
That is the, what about...
That is the end of the day,
yeah,
all right?
That's broken a good half dozen, I think, Keith. So, that is your quota, mate.
I'm going to kill the bloke who sent that email.
He'll have to go a long way, he's Australian.
I'll travel, especially...
Now here's Roberts out wide.
Well, that's obviously what Roberts did and let Crivier through. So he's looked like he's had a job to just haul that Suzuki up and turn it.
That's something we've seen starting in, what about Paul Ricard? He had trouble keeping it into an apex.
Well, he did say at Donington Park that he needed a few more things to help him win this championship, and well, maybe Suzuki haven't quite got it for him just yet. He's got a good team on his side nowadays. He brought Warren Willing across with him from Medinas, of course.
None better.
And I think motivated the whole of Suzuki. I think they must have been so down in the doldrums for so long.
Yeah, I think post-Schwantz, they were in a serious slump, weren't they?
Slump after Schwantz, as it's now known. There's a phrase for you.
Yeah, Norik Arbe, again looking good in 4th place, bike number 6 we're talking about.
Has he picked his bail yet?
Thank you, Keith. He was 3rd last time out, 6th at Donington, 6th in Assen, and then you get to the 2 falls before that.
Still, you snort at me. Max Biaggi still leading this race from Alex Crivier, who's closed in on him. Then it's Kenny Roberts retreating backwards into the pack. And he's got a bit of a job on his hands because Norifumi Abe, a bit of a demon breaker, and then Tadej Okada, who, well, he's a man that always looks serious. Yeah,
then Tetsuya Harada. That's Roberts out now, unless that's camera who's lying to us again.
He always goes out wide on that turn and then hauls it in onto the apex right late in the turn. It suits, I think, what he wants to do, but it certainly seems to be a slower line.
Gary McCoy still in front of 4 other Works V4 riders. I'm impressed.
Well, he is on a Works V4.
Yeah, 4 other Works V4 riders. He's in front of Kaczynski, Laconi, Van der Gerberg, and somebody else who I've forgotten already, Keith. As we're back with the leaders, not the minutiae of the midfield stuff.
Carlos Checa's still there behind Alex Barros. So 5 versus 4 back in the pack. But the interest has got to be here, hasn't it, between these two?
Definitely.
Alex Crivier, he's good at hunting them down. He's had so much practice following Mick Doohan over the years. I think that he's got fairly used to this cat and mouse game. He sits in the slipstream there. Whoa. He's used to mugging people on the last lap. It was good practice for him, wasn't it?
Was it 2 years ago? It was the mug to end all mugs by, what, 1/1000 of a second, was it, on the line?
Yeah, Mick was so happy.
Oh, unbelievable.
Well, the big rumour, of course, that we've been reading about in the British press is that Mick Doohan may run a 500cc team with Carl Fogarty in it. Somehow, I cannot believe that, but...
Well, no, it's just not being given any credence at all in the paddock,
well,
is it?
no, but it was supported by quotes, but then again, maybe not. Who knows?
Who knows?
We'll have to wait and speak to Carl.
We will indeed.
Let alone Mick.
Yes. Austria next week.
It is amusing us anyway.
It gave us a giggle or two.
Max Biaggi, Alex Crivier dueling around this 22-lap race with Kenny Roberts still in there. Maybe I shouted a little prematurely. Roberts, I think, I haven't actually checked on this, but it looked to me like he always seems to cook the rear tyre on that a little earlier on. Struggles a little bit on rear-end grip on the bike earlier than the rest of the guys struggle with it. So I don't know whether that's something to do with the way the bike performs, the whole package not quite sticking with him.
And he had a tricky Saturday, didn't he? Didn't improve on his Friday qualifying time. So I suppose it wouldn't be insolent of me to assume that they lost their way a little bit on Saturday.
Or we're trying things that would leapfrog the others, which is a very rare phenomenon, I've got to say, nowadays. Still Norifumi Abe, but look at Okada. His compatriot is about to mug him for sure. Out of the slipstream comes Okada on bike number 8, up the inside of Norifumi Abe. Bye-bye, Norik, back one you go. Yeah,
nice move from Taddy, of course, a victor this year with that storming performance in Assen.
It was building from about 4 bends ago, that manoeuvre. I was watching Taddy Okada just lining himself up to sweep past Norik Abe, and tucked right in behind Norik Abe now is Tetsuya Harada on bike 31. That's the V-twin Aprilia.
And Taddy's got a little bit of fresh air and tarmac in front of him to get across now to Kenny Roberts.
He'll like that.
It won't do him any harm at all.
And judging by his form, I've got to say, with the way these guys haven't got away much, Taddy Okada could easily catch Kenny Roberts from where he is at the minute.
Yep, I'll go with that. Will he bring Abe and Harada with him, I ask myself.
Well, Harada, I'm not saying anything about Harada. I'm always wrong. Well, not about Harada, but about what the Aprilia is capable of doing.
Yeah, and I think there he is.
Makes a liar of me every time.
And Nobuatsu Aoki looking more like his old self as well on number 9 Suzuki.
Right at the back of the bunch. In front of him, Checker and Co. But Kenny Roberts is the man with the pressure on him at the moment. Second in the championship, 47 points behind Alex Crivier and only 14 in front of Taddy Okada. And Taddy Okada is the man who's chasing hard at the moment on bike number 8.
As you can see, flitting in and out the back of your picture there on the second Repsol bike. There's the other Repsol bike, one of the other two, I should say.
I was going to say,
Alex Crivier. I forgot about Setti, didn't I? Yeah.
Setti Gibernau. I mean, if he ever gets to grips with that V4 like he did a V-twin, we're in for something special.
Well, I think Setti, that dislocated shoulder injury, the repeat from earlier in the season, Keith, is reckoned it's going to handicap him till the end of the season when he's going to have it repaired. So I'm not sure we're going to see Setti setting the world on fire.
Keep an eye on this now. Look at this, Slipstream City. Here comes Alex Crivier. Then he lined himself up nicely behind Max Biaggi into the braking area. He's got to do it, though, on Max. He forces Max out. Superb manoeuvre. Alex Crivier is in charge. Max Biaggi goes back a place and out on the wide line. So is that the last we see of Alex Crivier? He was, of course, a higher qualifier than Max Biaggi, but that seems to have counted for nothing in the previous 2 races today.
By almost exactly a tenth of a second. Here comes Max. No, he can't. Alex
certainly took a look at it.
He certainly did. Well, you've got to bite back quick, haven't you, it seems, around here.
Kenny Roberts still sits there in 3rd place. He'll be happy to see these two trip each other up, but he might be mortified to see Alex Crivier start to pull away, because I think Crivier now is really going to put it down. And he didn't really seem to want to be towed by Max Biaggi anywhere. I'm sure that Alex Crivier feels he's got the pace to pull away from Biaggi. So Max now has the pressure on him. He's got to chase. There was a complete and neat slipstream manoeuvre. He built through the last turn onto the start and finish straight, pulled alongside Max Biaggi and outbraked him there.
He did indeed.
He didn't get the slipstream so much. It pulled him alongside the Yamaha, but then just outbraked Biaggi at the end of it. Mind you, he did have the inside line. He's a brave man that tries to lay it over the nose of Crivier, really.
But it was another good, clean move. There's
Okada chasing hard. Watch Okada on bike number 8. He really is now getting down to it. Looks very businesslike indeed. Roberts has woken up in 3rd place and is trying to get right in behind Max Biaggi now. He knows that Okada is on the case.
And as you suggested...
Oh, Okada was nearly on the case, but off the bike. So Okada then giving us a full sideways job right in front of Tetsuya Harada, who's not phased at all. He keeps the throttle on. 31 Harada. 6 is Norik Abe. He's slipped behind them now on the Antenna 3 Yamaha. but it's about Okada. Okada very keen, I
just
think,
a
to
little bit,
catch Kenny.
And as you suggested, Crivier, no doubt, trying to up the pace to break Biaggi's challenge as early as possible. That should be stringing him out a bit, but Okada is just edging across that gap towards Kenny Roberts on Suzuki number 10.
Assuming he doesn't leap it up in the air again, as he has done just a few moments ago. There is 31 Harada behind him. Yes, it's still Norifumi Abe. Then it looks like Barros and Checker.
That's about the size of it. 14 laps to go out of the 22.
Yeah, this is flying through this race, isn't it? Last year it lasted 45 minutes. Something like 98.042 mile an hour average for the race last year.
Biaggi on the inside this time, he makes it.
Yeah, he does as well. What a great move then from Max Biaggi, but does he run a little bit hot? No, he's absolutely okay. Crivier, well, he should have done something with that pass that he made earlier. Crivier looked very confident and very easily past Max Biaggi. Well, Biaggi has just returned the compliment.
A surprise, I must say. Look at, hey, it's all telescoped together.
Yeah, we've got a freight train here of pretty good 500 riders and pretty good 500cc machines. We have had, well, it'll be a first time for some time that all three races on a Grand Prix day have been this good.
Yeah, I think you're right, Keith. Are we going to get a hat-trick of Italian national anthems, I ask myself?
Well, certainly, you know, Max Biaggi will be going for that.
Absolutely.
Crivier, second place and closing on Biaggi. We're looking from Biaggi right down his exhaust pipe, right into the face of Crivier.
There's Max.
There's Crivier. There's Ken as well. Kenny's still with it. Okada's still there. So is Harada on 31. Harada, they can't lose him, can they?
No, they cannot. I'm not sure that around this track he's going to be able to pass many of the V4s, but they sure as hell can't shake him off.
No, that's for sure. Well, in the braking area at the end of a lap, you might well see him try and make a pass on a few people, but he's going to struggle. The further up the field you go, the harder they get to pass.
And it's a pretty classy leading freight train in this 500cc Grand Prix of the Czech Republic. Alex Crivier checks to see where Kenny Roberts is and where Tadej Okada is, I should think.
Rather an odd place to be looking around, I'd have said just there anyway, but on board with Alex Crivier, looking at number 1, Max Biaggi, 4 times 250cc world champion consecutively.
On 2 different makes of bike as well, just to rub it in.
Came into 500s last year. What a sight that was. Absolutely blitzed them first time out. Mick Roberts holds out the board. Hello, Mick.
Plus 0.2, maybe.
Yeah, well, someone else worked it out for Mick. He didn't ride it.
Just doing the hanging out.
Sorry, Michael.
Big lad, Mick. We'll see you later. Right.
He can't run as fast as me, though.
Roberts now starting to drop back. Is it the case that the front 2 have got the hammer down? Keith, they've got about half a second now over Roberts, who has got serious Okada trouble. Look at that. The front 4 covered by less than a second.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit academic, but maybe sure. Biaggi has decided that he's going to try and stick in some fast laps here, but Crivier is matching every bit of pace that Biaggi puts on. Of course, Biaggi had the fastest lap a little bit earlier on, but really, Crivier lost an opportunity to just ease himself away from Max Biaggi. Biaggi knew that if he let Crivier build his pace up, that he might not be able to catch him, and so Biaggi took his opportunity and come straight back at Crivier. And here we have the result. Crivier's held up yet again by Max Biaggi, although Crivier, to me, looks like slightly faster than Biaggi in most places.
And using slightly less track in most places, which is also quite a good indication.
It's a real frustration. Of course, the other balancing act that these two have, one silly mistake, and they lose a whole heap of points in the World Championship. And suddenly you've got Kenny Roberts back on top again. Yeah,
he's still running in 3rd place, but Okada looks like he is thinking up his next move.
Well, Tadej Okada has come up with a few passing manoeuvres in his time, hasn't he?
Yeah, since Italy, Tadej had a bad first 4 races. They went 3rd in Italy, 2nd in Catalonia, 1 in Netherlands, 2nd in Great Britain, and then lobbed it on the Sachsenring to spoil a really good run.
I was actually thinking before this year when I've watched Tadej Okada when he's had it stood on its side and flipped in the air, and 32 years old, you ought to stop that kind of behaviour.
He's still 3rd in the World Championship as well, number 8, Tadej Okada, 4th.
He's only 61 points behind Alex Crivier.
It's a big gap, though, that, Keith. It's a big ask, isn't it, to overhaul that? The stranger things have happened. A lot of the season left, as you already said.
Oh, Checker out. Carlos Checker, one of the nicest guys in any motorcycle paddock. Now, did he have damaged leathers there? I thought I saw damaged leathers, and he wouldn't have started a race with them, that's for certain. So it looks like Carlos has had a little bit of a slide off there. Our cameraman being extremely vigilant and giving us a few ripped letters down the side of his leathers. So it looks like Carlos has had an excursion down the track.
Watch 3rd place. I think Tadej Okada is building to his next move.
Well, the point we were coming to, I think,
no, he's not,
was that Tadej Okada is only 14 points behind Kenny Roberts. so he needs to be in front of him, and at the moment he's not. Biaggi still leads. Just from Alex Crivier.
By the odd inch or two.
Yes. Well, if you're going metric, 10 millimetres.
Arbe is in front of Harada now. So the little V-twin put in its place by one of the V4s.
Well, the thing is, if the pace is not quite carrying the corner speed that Harada wants it to do, he doesn't have quite the advantage that the V4s do. The V4s are still undoubtedly fractionally quicker than the V-twin. Ooh! What
How close do you want to get?
Yeah, enough to pick his zits, I think, from that point of view. So, not that Alex Crivier has any of those. Of course, he's far too smooth.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed, Keith. Yes, fine. As you rescue yourself, I'll just watch how far in. And this is all telescoping together very nicely at the front.
And Barros is still back as well. Yeah, but he slipped back. And I think that may have had something to do with the checker incident, possibly.
And he's behind Aoki now, yes.
That's the point I was trying to make, and I'd forgotten that Aoki was riding the Suzuki. Which is very professional of me, and I'm willing to admit it.
Yeah, that's Nobuatsu Aoki, Suzuki number 9, the second of the two. The factory Suzuki's teammate, of course, to Kenny Roberts, running there in third place on number 10.
Oh,
and right on the case, I must say.
That's a hell of a corner to photograph, isn't it, just there, where they flip from side to side. Gives you some impression of just what kind of hard work it is to work these 500s. Max Biaggi still leads from number 3. There's his team. Max Biaggi, Jeff Krups looking very grim in the middle. Maybe Karen has gone out and bought something else.
Dear me.
Biaggi leads.
Quick, back to the racing.
From Crivier.
Am I getting... would it be wrong to say that Biaggi is just fractionally holding Crivier up in the field?
I'll tell you what, Okada looks like he's going to make a charge on Kenny Roberts in that picture. We'll just get a view of it.
Not
there
wrong.
It is. So Okada slides through on Kenny Roberts. Roberts was caught and passed. Repsol Honda, second and third. Still, though, Marlboro Yamaha in front.
And Okada now has his teammate Alex Crivier in his sights. Won't stop him, I assure you.
Look at this little freight train. This is a good race, isn't it? We're at half distance.
A second covers the top 5.
Yeah, and it still could be any one. I tell you, Okada could be in for a win here. He's worked his way through. He's looking, well, he looks like he's regained some kind of composure. Remember, he was out of the saddle a little bit earlier on in this race, but I think that was his anxiety to get up with the front runners.
Yeah, not to get left behind,
he's now there. And Max Biaggi not doing the kind of pace that is going to allow him to pull away from the Repsol Honda boys.
Do you think if Crivier was in front, he could pull away, or are you saying that one go he had?
He had his opportunity, but I just feel that Max thought to himself, if I let him get away for a lap here, he's going to just have that couple of yards on me, and I'm never going to make it back. So Max had to go straight back, or 2 or 3 bends later, straight back at Alex Crivier. And now Max has been able to dictate pace throughout this first half of the race.
On board with Taddy Okada, looking at his teammate Alex Crivier.
Yeah, it's always a bit of a question mark, isn't it?
Has he left room?
No, I think he's just pulling the line that he wants to pull, Alex Crivier. Again, it's a line that Kenny Roberts likes, being out wide on the way in and then getting the power down as you cut the apex late around the turn. You can get the power on real hard then. I love that corner.
It's wonderful, isn't it? This is a great racetrack, in fact, isn't it? It is a stunning racetrack. Beautifully designed and laid out. What, 1987 was it? The Czechs opened this place to replace the old closed road circuit. Something like that.
Yeah, I was. Oh, you got me on that one. I remember the road circuit.
Yeah, model of the Nürburgring, the old road circuit.
Was it really?
It was indeed.
Absolutely nothing like it to ride around then. So they modelled it on it. It was a strange scale. Still it is, Biaggi leading on 2, 3, Alex Crivier from 8, Taddy Okada, who's got a dilemma on his hands here. Do I make a pass on a man who's leading the World Championship and is also in my team?
Yes. Would be my answer. I don't think Taddy will be able to resist the temptation.
Do I make a pass if it's marginal?
No. Maybe that... Is that what you're thinking?
That's my thinking.
Yep.
If it's a marginal pass, do I actually make it? I think at the end of the day, it's instinct that gets somebody by in those circumstances, and maybe Taddy will just go for it anyway.
Any pass that's going to be done is going to be by Crivier, I think, because he is really building up to the rear end of Max Biaggi's Yamaha.
And of course, Okada being in front of Kenny Roberts, that little equation for second place in the championship starts to close up nicely as well. By what, another 3 points, so it will be 11 points the difference between Okada and Kenny Roberts. So, as we see, Max Biaggi not able to break away from Crivier. Okada's in attendance now, close attendance. Roberts is slipping back. And I think Kenny Roberts is going to lose another couple of places by the end of this race if he carries on with... oh, and Taddy Okada is again out of the seat, so dearing me. Roberts has got close attendance from Norifumi Abe, who is...
always a worry.
notoriously inconsistent is Norifumi Abe, so Roberts, I would suggest, is probably, race time-wise, just a little bit more consistent than Norifumi, but I wait to be completely disproved on that one.
We shall see. This is very like last year's race, where we had a bunch of guys in very close company for a lot of the race, just cat and mouse stuff. They're running at such pace as Max now starts to stretch out a little. No, he doesn't. The camera angle caught me completely. Alex Crivier is right back up with him. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
I'll change my glasses, Keith. Hang on.
Still, we look back from Max as they come to the end of yet another lap, with Crivier now stuck right here, plus 0.2. OK, lap 9. 9 laps to go.
We all held our breath there as Crivier had to think about the inside line, did not go for it in any seriousness. He's holding that line tight, very tight line around the big horseshoe right-hander from Alex Crivier. He's putting that Honda where he wants, isn't he, Keith?
Yeah, but it's all going to be down to who has thought their race strategy out the best, because they've got to make a pass. With 9 laps to go, I think they're all going to just conserve their tyres until the very, very end. That's going to be the most crucial factor here. I've got to say, with Okada having to work harder than anybody else to make it up to the front trio, then you might find that he's been spinning a little bit too long, and possibly towards the end of this race might find it a struggle to get alongside the 2 men in front of him if he's cooked his tyres. When I say cooked, they're not really cooked, they're just lacking that 1% in grip because of the extra use he's had to put through the rear tyre to make the places up to 3rd place where he is now. Oh, Abe! No. Norik Abe.
Yeah, that's a bit of... Here we go, Keith. The bike in the front of the group will...
Off he goes. Well, looks like the front end on the way in, and off goes Norik Abe. I'm sorry to have to say.
4th crash of the year.
It was obviously that one he picked then, Jules. Harada 31 in front of Aoki. You refused to rise to that, right?
I know, it was something a flippant remark of yours earlier has come horribly true.
Yeah.
Tick the straw bale, wasn't it? With your
it's not very. I mean, it's just. I mean, Norik Abe. He's a real entertainer, but.
And 3rd last time out as well.
Yeah, it's just you can never be too sure with the guy. He could either be right up there or right off there. Today's an off there kind of a day. Still Kenny Roberts then, pressure's off him for a moment then, because Abe has bailed out, so Roberts is still in a safe 4th place.
If you can call being in front of Harada safe.
Well, I think Harada, he might be able to tow himself up to Roberts.
But passing, we haven't seen that V-twin manage it, have we?
Depends on the curve, really. Oh, good, Arbe's back on track, so that's a good thing to see.
There's Luis Dantan with the slaphead hairdo in the middle, the team manager.
Rather serious. You got it in for slapheads, in Jules?
Beaky. As Crivier goes to the lead.
Underneath Max Biaggi. Nice manoeuvre, Alex Crivier. He's done it before. He's done it again. Now then, Max Biaggi has shut the door on Okada, so Okada wasn't able to follow through on that particular manoeuvre. Now, can Alex Crivier increase his pace enough to keep out of trouble with Max Biaggi?
Oh, that's where Max got it back last time.
Yeah, he's very good up and over the hill.
Took him 2 laps, though.
Wait and see whether Alex can just make... Oh, there goes Okada. Okada's through too. Oh, that's a good shotgun manoeuvre. So back goes Max. There's no chance of him coming back at it now.
They really blocked him there, didn't they?
Okada 2nd. All's fair in love, war and motorcycle racing, as Max looks back at Okada and goes for it. Well done, Max Biaggi. Superb stuff.
Has he gone too wide?
The Roman Emperor is back at it. It is wide out there into the 2nd part of it. And Okada unable to take advantage of the inside line on Max Biaggi, even though Max was out a little bit wide. Kenny Roberts has caught them right back up because of that shenanigans.
It's done Crivier a big favour, hasn't it? It's given him a bit of a break and given Roberts hope at the same time. We're on board with Taddy Okada in 3rd place, wanting desperately to be in 2nd place.
Yeah, well, this has given Crivier just everything that Crivier wanted. What a gift for Alex. There's Alex now with a massive lead over the boys that follow, compared with the rest of the race anyway. And Okada slightly frustrated at not being able to force his way past Max Biaggi. Roberts will be happy to be watching these two struggling to get past each other. Look like Aoki out on a wide one there as well.
Yeah,
on
he's
bike
been
number 9.
Definitely. We've seen a lot of that from both the Suzukis. Roberts hauls it back. Aoki can't.
Yeah, it definitely looks like they're having a bit of trouble holding the line with those bikes. But then again, what do I know nowadays?
But it's nice to see Nobuatsu Aoki in the same picture frame as the leaders again, as he was in that first year on the Honda V4 when he rode that. When he, I think he got 2nd or 3rd in the championship in his first year, didn't he? 3rd, I think.
Crivier, can he ease away? We'll find out in a moment if he breaks the lap record, which is his anyway. On to the start and finish straight. Alex Crivier over the line now, stops the clock. Let's says it all. 7 laps to go. Repsol Honda marking their card. Okada again unhappy to be behind Biaggi.
To put it mildly.
He looks so frustrated at being behind Biaggi. He's obviously faster than Biaggi, but he can't find a way to cleanly get by him as he gets a power on there. Just look at that. Body language, you talk about that.
Absolutely, Keith. Okada is getting desperate, isn't he? And Biaggi has just got too much nails for him.
Number 3, Alex Crivier leads from 2. Max Biaggi from 8. Teddy Okada, through goes Okada, then up in the 2nd place. So reverse that particular part of the commentary. Then it's number 10 in 4th place, Kenny Roberts, 31. Tetsuya Harada, 9. It's Aoki, straight back in the same place.
Absolutely, carbon copy time. Taddy goes to the inside again.
Not able to get it on hard enough and get under Max Biaggi. What a race this is between these two, dogfighting.
Wonderful contrast as well, isn't it, in styles?
But all the time, they do this. Alex Crivier, World Championship leader, gets away. 25 points he sits on at the minute, with 6 races to go after this one. So 150 points are available after this race. And if, well,
let's say he'll have a 50-point lead at the end of this, if he stays where he is.
Well, he's going to have more than that. He's going to have more than that, many more than that. 45 I make it at the minute at my first trying to calculate it. Sorry, 55, 53. That's based on the positions they're in at the moment, with Roberts back in 4th place.
Yeah, I couldn't do the sums that time. I got the differentials wrong.
Well, Roberts is on 13, while Alex Crivier is on 25.
So there'll be 66 points at the end of this if they stay as they are. As Taddy,
well, 66 points, and you've only got 150 left.
Very, very rarely has somebody lost that sort of lead.
Well, I'm sure I'm right in saying that Alex Crivier leads this 500cc World Championship by more than Mick Doohan has in all his 5.
I think that's what the statisticians tell us, Keith.
In the previous 5, it's...
So really, Alex, he's just got to stay on the thing, but he's staying on and he's winning at the moment.
Well, he's finding it easy without Mick around.
Yeah,
and the big question, of course, this was the race meeting that Mick was originally scheduled to come back at, but he did say that he was only going to come back if he could be competitive and win races. Again, as Okada looks at the inside of Biaggi, and Mick Doohan still on the sideline, still getting himself fittened and fattened, as Okada, again, right underneath Biaggi, but never going to make it round this right-hand part of that left-right. And Roberts all the time closes in, and there is that Tetsuya Harada on
just
the V-twin.
inching up to them.
Yeah, that's enough to get them moving, isn't it?
Well, the Mick Doohan thing, it was the nerve damage to the shoulder that is proving the obstacle to his return, not that broken leg or broken wrist. Those of the orthopaedic surgeons have done their best to them. It's a mechanical problem, that's fixable. It's the soft tissue damage, as usual, the nervous tissue damage that is delaying Mick's return, as we see.
Abe comes in to retire then. He crashed out a little earlier on. He remounted to get back out there on track and try and grab some points. Big black line from Okada. Dear me.
This is not the Taddy we know and love, is it?
It is.
Oh, yeah, he's normally, historically, been a smoother, less risk-taking rider than that, I've always thought.
Yeah,
back in the 250s.
I remember seeing him alongside Mick Doohan once doing a handstand on a 500. Yeah, that seems fairly smooth to me.
All right, Keith, yeah, fine. All right. But he's the man who's giving us the entertainment value at the moment, Taddy.
All we need is Seti Shiva now amongst them just to lay some big darkies around here. That'll do me just fine. Yeah. Crivier, though, all the time away at the front. A nice safety buffer of just over a second between him and Max Biaggi, although that's not big enough, in my view.
It's just in the case of this race, a second is a big, big lead. And given what we've had all day, in fact, Keith, in the 250s and the 125s, it's a big lead.
Mike Sinclair there, the New Zealand technician. The famous, more famous than most of these riders in the circles that know, of course, Mike Sinclair, along the lines of Warren Willing and so on and so forth. Top men in their field behind the top men in racing. And they never look any older.
I know, it's worrying.
They've obviously perfected the anti-aging chip.
Nobuatsu Oki only 4 seconds behind the leader on the second of the Suzukis. Well, I must say I'm pleased to see that, and I'm impressed as well. There he goes, number 9.
Yeah, Barros has been a bit disappointing as well, hasn't he?
Yes.
Barros has he qualified in 8th place on the Movistar Pons bike, but he's cruising away at the back of this bunch. I did expect Alex Barros to perhaps put one in, but he's not been able to. He's back there in 7th place behind Nobuatsu Aoki, so they're a bit spread out behind the top 4.
Glad to see that the pole position centre, Jürgen van der Gerberg, still circulating in the points in 11th. John Kaczynski only 14th.
Yeah, Mike Hale gets a point on the Medinas at the moment. That's a shock too, because Hale really, oh dear me.
What happened to Mike Hale, yeah.
Well, he's a good-looking boy, but he just didn't perform in. So, at the front, Alex Crivier in control over the area of James Whittam's massive crash, for which this race was stopped. A lap and a half in. This is the restart. Alex Crivier has done it all right. Max Biaggi on bike 2 in 2nd place. 3rd is number 8, Tadej Okada, laying big black lines in his frustration to get the better of Max Biaggi's 2nd place. In 4th, still, is number 10, Kenny Roberts.
And still in touch.
And still in touch, but I have to say it's a weak-looking 4th place.
He's hanging on by his fingertips, isn't he, to the podium position men in front of him.
Well, if he had anything in the locker, I'm sure he'd be having a go at Tadej Okada, because Okada could ultimately take 2nd place in the championship away from Kenny Roberts, because he's only a few points behind him.
Yeah, 14 points behind him when the day started. 127 to Roberts, 113 to Tadej Okada. 20 points for 2nd, 17 for 3rd.
Big losers here are Seti Gibernau and Carlos Checa on 95 and 78, because Tetsuya Harada is scoring good points. So Harada, who's only 3 points behind Carlos Checa, is going to overtake him, that's for sure, and close in on Seti Gibernau's 4th place. So Harada on a V-twin is aiming for 4th place in the series.
Outrageous. I think Seti Gibernau, that shoulder he redislocated a couple of races ago, Keith, is definitely bad news for him for the rest of the season. I'm not sure how fit he is and how...
It's one of those injuries, Julian, I can speak from experience, that really it can nag at you all the way. You just lose the strength in your arm and you just can't quite get it back. It feels okay 1 minute, wheelie there from Max Biaggi, and it's something that just you can't quite get over.
Yeah, and he's dislocated it before in his career, and it's the redislocation as he's going to need fixing surgically. Here's Jürgen in 11th.
11th place on Rolf Bielen's GP1 Weber MUZ.
Best finish so far this year, 8th, and that was when he set pole at Catalonia.
That MUZ's come a long way since it went out of East German hands and into Swiss hands. There's been a bit of a raid from Switzerland there. The Swiss Auto Mob have taken over the MUZ title and really have made that motorcycle go very well. 2 pole positions this year. That's a great achievement if you don't achieve anything else.
Done a front row for Luca in Sachsenring as well.
Oh, Okada again, just had a little look at the inside line on Max Biaggi there. But nope, Max has got it covered. Max wants those 20 points. I think he knows that 25 are out of the order today.
That'll jump him a few points up the table, probably in front of Kaczynski Abe, not in front of Harada, though.
Well, yeah, Max Biaggi is down in 9th place at the moment on what, 71 points, just 1 point behind Kaczynski, so he's going to definitely go in front of him. He's going to go in front of Abe, as you quite rightly say. And has he got enough? No, he hasn't quite got enough on Tetsuya Harada.
No, I don't think so. Hang on, Harada.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to close right up.
Yeah, it is going to make life a little bit interesting as we go into the last third of the season for the top leaderboard positions. There's the Suzuki pitboard going out, saying Harada is 1.2 seconds behind you, mate.
Look at this. Well, Harada's firing off away with 3 laps to go, not to interfere with Kenny Roberts. Kenny Roberts just got to keep it smooth, but I get the feeling that Kenny Roberts is like something about to explode. He's one of these guys that he's going to ride that to 100% if it's capable of doing what he wants it to do. But I get the feeling that Roberts is just having to nurse the bike around. It's not quite performing in the way that he wants it to, and therefore he's just nursing that 4th place without risking chucking it up the street. Remember what happened in Ricard.
Yes, indeed, when he lobbed it while in 2nd place, chasing the leader. And Alex Crivier still has that little comfort zone between himself and number 2.
Not much, though.
No, it's come down a bit. It was over a second, wasn't it? That's edged down with a couple, what, just over 2 laps to go.
2 3/4 laps on to go on this racetrack at the moment. It's a long way around here. 5.4 kilometres, 3.3 miles.
We've not seen the lap record broken.
No, that surprises me, I must say.
And me.
Because Crivier at one stage, he's ridden a good race, but he's done barely enough to be in front of this race. He really has just done the minimal amount.
Who was it who said the thing to do was win at the slowest possible speed?
Well, yeah. I remember that phrase. I can't remember who it was attributed to in the first place.
I think Halewood was one candidate, but I'm not sure it's an original of his.
Well, he certainly goes back far enough for it to be an original, and coming from the lips of that particular man,
yes,
I'll take that as the original.
Why not? Why not? And we're on board with Taddy Okada, the desperate. He keeps thinking about it, doesn't he?
He's going to force past.
Yeah, he's got to.
I've got not much doubt in my mind. I've obviously had some doubt, otherwise I said I've got no doubt in my mind, but I've got a feeling that Okada is going to try it on big time with Max Biaggi. A Repsol Honda 1-2 is exactly what he gets paid for.
Exactly, exactly. And the old boy is definitely harassing Max Biaggi. Something rotten has been doing as he goes to the inside.
Yeah, he does it every time there, though, but then Max has got the inside line on this right-hander.
Nowhere to go for Taddy.
But onto the start and finish straight. Let's have a look at it as they come to the line. Okada
in the slipstream, beautifully.
Yamaha looking very, very good today as far as speed is concerned. These two... Well, it is a bit of a dogfight between those, isn't it? And again, running out a bit hot there.
And they're closing up on the leader, Alex Crivier. These two, Max is having to up his pace to stay in front of Taddy, but still, as you can see from that wonderful aerial shot.
I'm not sure that Max is up in his pace, you know. I haven't got a monitor here to tell me exactly what's going on. I think it's just sort of, it's all pretty static at the moment. It's Okada's the man that you've got to watch for.
Yeah, it's very like last year, this. Very like last year when Max won.
Well, Crivier was second last year, Barros was third, Okada was fourth. What a difference a year makes. Still it is. Kenny Roberts in fourth place on bike number 10, the Suzuki.
Just you say nursing, you get the impression he can't do anything about the men in front of him. He's got enough of a cushion on Harada. He is nursing that imperfect motorcycle round to a good point-scoring finish.
Well, it's a quick, I mean, this is not a slow pace. No. They're all hovering around that record pace from last year.
And that's why we're seeing no toing and throwing, because the pace is such that ain't that sort of slack in it.
It's the toing and throwing I think we need to worry about, and Okada looks the man most likely to do that at the moment. We're on board with him now, looking at second place Biaggi. The Honda, no match. Well, as far as the Yamaha is concerned, they've been testing here during the break. Yamaha, they were happy with the testing. They tried different chassis, different suspension through Öhlins. Öhlins are working very hard with them. Michelin have been out here with them as well, testing tyres.
They've braced the chassis up a bit, haven't they?
They tried a completely different chassis, I think, at one point. Still, it is 8. Taddy Okada in third place. Crivier having a very long, leisurely stare into the faces behind him.
Doing some sums.
Crivier, I feel, knows he's got this under control. He's got to keep that concentration going. It's not been suspect in the past, so I see no reason to question it today. Alex Crivier, there is the Yamaha team of Max Biaggi. Jeff Kruss still staring the monitor out. Look at this, Taddy Okada now looking to try and get his team member. We're on to the last lap, he's going to the inside line, but Biaggi is good on the brakes there at the end of it, but he runs hot in the middle of this turn. Not this time.
Not this time. Oh, look at Taddy close up on the exit of the corner.
That's exactly the corner speed that Okada has in the middle of the corner is very, very good indeed. Right with...
And he's got the pace then.
Right with Biaggi now. Crivier has got this one, barring a mistake. Okada looks at the inside line and goes for it. Max Biaggi goes back to 30. It had to come. Now, can Okada hold it? He can just there.
This is where Biaggi's got it, but no, he's got it there as well.
Biaggi really has to fight back now. If you're on that line just there, there's no way you're going to make a repass around the outside. So, Okada second behind teammate Crivier. Crivier then has this job nicely stitched up at the front. It's all a question of whether Biaggi can make that extra bit on Okada. And look at that, as soon as he got past Max Biaggi, Okada is straight up to Crivier. Well, we've been questioning whether he is frustrated back in third place now.
Keith?
Yeah, I'm just about to ask you that one. What do you think? Will he try and make the move on Crivier?
If he can do it cleanly, yes.
I think he probably will then.
Yes. I don't think he'll pour.
Oh, black lines down everywhere, and Kenny Roberts has got designs on a podium as well as Max Biaggi looks and finds out.
Here goes
Okada. Okada's going for the win. Yes. This is not going to go down well with Alex. So, Alex, remember... dear me, that was a disaster there. He runs wide, and so does Crivier. Crivier goes back into the lead. No, he doesn't. Well, he's got a desperate Taddy Okada to win this race. Well, Crivier can remember and possibly console himself in that he's done this several times to Mick Doohan in the past.
Look at Roberts.
Now Okada's about to do it to him. Okada is going to win. He looks like a desperado.
Roberts for third? Not yet.
But he's going for the inside line on Biaggi. I don't know. He's been lining himself up for it. Oh, Biaggi's out wide. Max has gone out wide. Whether... Yes! Through has come Roberts. Good. Roberts will get third. It's going to be, though, Taddy Okada that wins from Alex Crivier, who will be annoyed. Mark my words. And in third place, number 10, Kenny Roberts, with a greatly judged race. Superb for the Suzuki man. But Okada is the man of the day. Crivier will be unhappy with the fact that he was nearly taken out by a teammate through his teammate's desperation to win. We wait and watch this space.
McCoy 8th, best ever.
But big deal there then. 5 points lost as far as Crivier is concerned. Oh, that's nice to see.
Oh, yeah.
That is nice to see.
Yes, Crivier just storing it away for future reference.
He's pulled the chain on Alex Crivier, I think that possibly means.
I think Taddy will probably say sorry, but here it is, Keith. Talk us through this one.
Well, I mean, there's not much to talk about. Okada's done the job, but his tyres are just about shot. He really has just about hung them in there. He got it sideways on, and then, of course, ran out wide as Crivier went to go through. And Crivier coming round the outside, but Taddy, no sooner had he got his bum back in the seat, got straight back on the gas, and Crivier couldn't make capital of it, which...
I'm surprised he didn't get him there,
well,
I must
think
say.
It unsettled Alex as well, and don't forget, Alex is the man that leads the World Championship by a long way. The last thing you need to do is jump off of a 20-point gap, 20-point
and of course,
position.
He's beating Kenny Roberts, the man who is behind him in the championship.
So, really, Alex Crivier, I don't think he will... I mean, it was very sporting of him and, of course, Okada to shake hands on the slowing down lap, but I think Alex will be less than happy at being mugged.
I bet you he doesn't show it, though.
No, I bet he doesn't.